You know, when you picture someone playing a video game, you probably imagine them alone in a room, right? A pretty solitary hobby. But what if I told you that for millions of people, it's a spectator sport, and it's so big it actually rivals some of the biggest professional sports leagues in the world? Yeah, so today we're going to pull back the curtain on this massive and honestly, surprisingly complex world of live streaming. All right, I want to start with just a number: 32 million. Just let that sink in for a second. That's how many people tuned in live to watch the 2013 World Championship for a single game, League of Legends. I mean, that's a wild number, but what does it actually mean in the grand scheme of things?
Well, let's put it into perspective. That very same year, the NBA Finals, one of the biggest events in all of sports, pulled in about 17.7 million viewers. So yeah, do the math. This one video game tournament had nearly double the audience. This isn't some niche little hobby anymore. It's a full-blown cultural force.
And that gets us to the real question here, right? Why? Why are millions of people actively choosing to watch somebody else play a video game? To figure that out, we really have to understand the person on the other side of that screen. We have to understand the streamer.
So, to really get inside their heads, we're going to lean on some fascinating research from Denise Lau. She actually interviewed tons of streamers to figure out what makes them tick. And what she found was that the journey for pretty much every streamer starts from the exact same place, this fundamental human need for self-expression. This diagram she created is basically a roadmap of their journey. And as you can see, everything kicks off with self-expression. But what's really interesting is that right away, that single drive splits into two totally different paths that really define what kind of streamer a person's going to become. So here's the fork in the road. Is their main drive about their gameplay, or is it about their personality? A gameplay-focused streamer, they are all about the skill. They want to show off their mastery of the game, teach other people how to get better, and break down complex strategies. But a personality-focused streamer, well, they use the game more like a stage. It's a backdrop for their charisma, their humor, and their ability to just connect with people.
Okay, so this is a perfect example of that gameplay path in action. You're hearing from a top-ranked player, Highbridge, and he's breaking down this split-second, super technical move he just made. He's not just playing the game. He's performing this incredible feat of skill and then explaining the deep mechanics behind why it worked. Watching him isn't just entertainment, it's like you're attending a masterclass.
And then, you've got the other side of the coin. As this streamer explains, for a lot of people, even people who describe themselves as introverts in their daily lives, streaming is a way to socialize on their own terms. It's a space where they can connect, build real friendships, and just be themselves. Or, maybe a slightly more amplified version of themselves. Now, it doesn't really matter whether a streamer starts out focused on skill or on personality. That initial act of just putting themselves out there, that's just the seed. The next, and maybe most crucial step, is figuring out how to turn that individual broadcast into an actual thriving community. What's so amazing to me is how intentional this is. Streamers are literally architects of a vibe. Take this streamer, S7. She wants her channel to be a place where people can come and just feel relaxed, have a chill time. That core value system starts attracting viewers who are looking for that exact same thing, and boom, a community starts to form around that shared feeling. And they've got this whole toolkit to make that community feel real and connected. They create inside jokes that make the regulars feel like they're part of an exclusive club. They'll do something called a raid, where they send their entire audience over to another streamer's channel to surprise them with a flood of support. They even form official teams and use platforms like Discord to keep that conversation and that community feeling going 24/7, way after the stream is over. But what happens when that community starts to get really big? When the audience grows from a few dozen people to hundreds or even thousands? A brand new question starts to pop up. Hey, could this be more than just a hobby? And that's when the pressure completely shifts. The moment streaming becomes a job, a whole new layer of performance kicks in. To really get this shift, we need to borrow a concept from sociology. It's called impression management. It's basically the idea that in all of our social interactions, we're kind of like actors on a stage. We're managing how we present ourselves to an audience. Well, for a professional streamer, their channel is their stage. This right here, this is the front stage performance. The streamer might be a pretty quiet person in real life, but on camera, they're more cheerful, more energetic, they're amped up, like they said. It's absolutely still them, but it's a version of them that's curated for entertainment. It's the persona that builds their brand and, let's be real, pays the bills.
But behind that front stage performance, there's always the backstage reality. This streamer opens up about how their parents never approved of them playing games, always thinking it was a waste of time. This is the private struggle, the financial stress, the constant pressure to be on, the lack of support from family that the audience almost never sees. Okay, so we've seen what drives them to start and what it takes to go pro. But at the absolute highest level of competition, there's another skill layer entirely. And this one goes way beyond just having quick reflexes. This is about psychology. It's one thing to be a professional, to be really, really good at a game. But what's the secret ingredient that turns a pro into a true champion, a legend? Well, a lot of the time, it comes down to something that seems almost psychic. The ability to know what your opponent is going to do before they even do it. In the gaming world, this actually has a name. It's a Japanese term called yomi, which basically means reading. It's this invisible battle of minds that's happening at the same time as the visible battle on the screen. It's not about outplaying your opponent anymore. It's about outthinking them. And it works in layers, which is so cool. So Yomi Layer 0 is just the basic, most obvious move you can make. But a truly skilled player knows that you're expecting that, so they'll operate on Yomi Layer 1. They'll make a move that seems kind of weird or unexpected, but they're doing it on purpose to bait you into reacting and showing them your strategy. They're literally playing a high-stakes game of mental chess at lightning speed. So when you step back and look at the whole picture, the incredible athletic skill, the performance art of building and maintaining a persona, the leadership it takes to build a global community from scratch, it really makes you wonder, what is a streamer? Are they new athletes? Or new artists? Or new community leaders? Maybe they're not just one of those things. Maybe they're an entirely new kind of hybrid role, created for our super connected world.